All right. Here's something I just picked up today. It's a Coronado Model 585 from 1935. Big old Tombstone radio with broken dial cord. Hopefully it's just one of those spinning disc things without an actual string, but I've done dial cords in the past. I'll just deal with it. On and off. Band selection. I really like how the dial is like boat themed. You got a big sailboat there, and then I don't know what you call that, a steering wheel with a picture of the globe in the middle. Covers 55 to police band, which is like 1710, but they don't use that police band anymore. And then we have shortwave, which is very common for this era. So let's flip it around. Might I add that this is just a show and tell video. We will be repairing this video in a future... We will be repairing this radio in a future video. There we go. But here's our back. We have a missing Type 80, 6F6, a Type 75, I believe. What is that? A 6K7, and then a 6F7 back there. Big electromagnet speaker. That unfortunately right there, I don't know if you can see that if I dim that, has a hole ripped in it. But we'll take a closer look at that because we're going to take all this out of the case to get a look under. This didn't cost me too much. It only cost about $20 or so, so that pretty good deal for something. And if it doesn't work or just is too much, it'll be a good showpiece. Looks like we got a power transformer, so this isn't a just your standard old hot chassis set. Although this might be charged somewhat. I'm not sure. I won't find out. But yeah, we got these old jelly capacitors that are super high voltage, super low capacitance. I believe this one is an 8 microfarad at 350 volts, and I'm not sure what the other one is. But yeah, let's get the chassis out. And it looks like, unfortunately, we do have a dial cord, but a very simple one. Just goes from there to there. That shouldn't be too big of a problem. Looks like we got a dial light. That'll be nice. Coronado was the house brand for Ben Franklin's, and these were typically cheap radios that were very common during the Great Depression because people didn't have a lot of money. So, yeah. Not sure who actually made this. Coronado was a brand, let me mind you, not a like factory or whatever. So this could be made by a number of different companies. Probably Arvin, to be honest. Wait, I wonder if this plastic thing, because this is connected to this, does the plastic thing just go into that slot there? I don't know. Or is there a cord that wraps around there? Because that's two pieces of metal, like, clamped together. Anyways, I'll stop blabbling. But here we go. I have not seen under the chassis. This is my first time, so let's do it together. Always the most exciting part. Ooh. A replacement, but probably a replacement from, maybe the 40s? Not a lot of capacitors, which makes me very happy. I think the biggest pain in the butt is going to be those jelly ones, but I don't even think they're connected with that big paper one there. The funny thing is that those paper ones are usually the originals in my normal stuff. This is the oldest thing I've worked on. The oldest radio that's been on this bench. Whether I own it or not. This one's going to be fun. And this doesn't look super tampered with. That looks like maybe the only replacement. So I'm going to get this flipped over in a more comfortable way so I don't have to hold it, and we will take a in-depth look. This is why I love this old stuff. The speaker is in a socket like a tube. I'm going to get that out real quick. So this replacement here, 450 working voltage, dual, or maybe even actually a couple, more than two capacitors in here, 8 plus 10 microfarads. Looks like the 6th week of 1947. Maybe 1957, but I don't know, maybe 1957. But those two jelly ones are actually still in circuit, so I will take care of that. I don't really know, and I'm sorry about this, but I don't really know how to restuff them. I will probably just disconnect them and leave them on the chassis with no voltage going to them, just for originality's sake and because it's easier. But I unfortunately do not know how to stuff capacitors like many do. Dead spiders from all walks of life. That spider there is probably 4 times older than me. Look at that old Solar logo. Solar. That's cool. This will have to go. For sure. So will all these white things. But it looks very standard and it looks very simple, and I think we can get this one working again. Looks like that probably is a cord, it's a piece of string, but this flops around, which I can probably take care of in this video, probably. Yeah. The price tag said do not plug in, and they weren't kidding. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to work on this one. I haven't worked on something in a long time. You guys haven't seen me work on something in a long time. I think this will be a fun video. I just got to get parts together, wait about maybe 2 weeks or so, and we can work on it. There's our speaker connection. It is a 5-pin speaker with probably common negative there, and then various things for like the speaker choke and stuff. But we can vacuum this out in this video. It needs it. Big time. There's a series of capacitors that look like this brown one. One sucks, like these. The other one is very, very precise and are typically hand-picked, to quote Mr. Carlson's lab. I just leave the domino ones in circuit. You can send me all the hate mail you want about leaving those in circuit, but I don't know if they're the really good ones or the ones that just kind of stink. And if they're the really good ones, then I don't want to change them because they're typically custom made for the exact serial number of radio that they're inside. Like, they aligned this or something. They did something with aligning it, and then they're like, okay, we're going to use this certain capacitor on this certain radio. And I just don't want to mess with that. It's just too cool, and it would probably mess up the performance quite a bit. Yeah. But oh boy, is this going to be fun to get into. How many electrolytics do we have here? Where is my pointer capacitor? Yes, the pointer capacitor, the pointer screwdriver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, and then if we're counting these, then 8, 9 electrolytics. Yeah, that's about par. Yeah, so I guess let's get the vacuum and vacuum it out. Alright, get this. So, the reason why this rattles is because a rubber grommet is completely turned to dust. And that screw right there with the red stuff on it is like... That red stuff typically means don't tamper with it, because it's set up like how it's supposed to. Now, I don't know if it's gonna stay like that much longer with this being like this. Maybe I can find a grommet to replace that on the antique radio supply, but that's not very good. Looks like maybe the other ones, yeah, the other ones still have their grommets, although they're crusting and crumbling away. That one right there. It's the other one. There we go. That one's missing a chunk of it. Anyways, like I was saying, let's get the vacuum for this Radio TV Phono Nut special. Well, that sure cleaned up nicely. That's what a little rag will get you. And also kind of scraped up around here. Should probably be wearing a mask for this, but I guess asbestos is also a government hoax. So, better take my free American will and just absolutely refuse to wear a mask for asbestos. This is going to be fun. It reminds me a lot of that one that YouTube user Shango66 repaired. His was a Detrola. Very, very similar radio to this. I actually almost wonder if this is a Detrola. But a lot of radios were very, very similar back then. Before, well, I guess during the Depression, I'll just say. Not before the 40s, because late 30s were also the same, but this is more so just Depression era. Mid 30s. I'm going to pull out all the tubes and just kind of check to see if they're not cracked or broken, or if the pins are in good shape, and just see what I'm getting myself into. Alright, all the possible tube sockets are populated. I gotta get my hands on a Type 80. Luckily, they're only about $10 for a, as they call it, Coke bottle style tube. But you can also get a globe tube, too. But that'll run you about $60. So I'm not gonna do that. It'd be neat to see a globe tube in a radio with octals. Anyways, I think I'm going to wrap this video up here, save you guys the boringness of putting it all back together.